Good morning, Park Lane Church. This is Pastor Pete again, sharing our weekly Wednesday devotional. It is January 13th, 2021. I wanted to continue in our little series this week. We are taking 4 weeks to look at the story of the prodigal son, which I shared last week. And thank you for those that followed up with me and kind of chimed in on how this story has impacted your life, this biblical text, how it has, just reminded you of chapters of your own life, or called you to pray for your children or other loved ones in your life. I appreciated the feedback and the dialogue that we were able to have over email there. So this morning, I just want to read for you verses 11 and 12 by way of review, and share a little bit about these two sons. So God's word says, Luke chapter 15, verse 11, Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them." And that's all I will share as far as the biblical text this morning. Because as I shared last week, or you've probably encountered this story in the past, there are these 2 sons. There is a rebellious younger son that asks for his father's inheritance ahead of time, which causes the father to have to sell part of his property to give it to him. And then there is the religious older brother who stays home, who stays with dad. And isn't it interesting? Pastor Chad and I were just talking earlier today about the nature of families, and how siblings raised by the same 2 parents, basically in the same time of life, usually within a few years, can turn out so differently, and can have such different experiences, and as adults can have really different goals and values. That's true in my own family, and I'm sure that it's true in your family of origin as well. But the younger son is often the one that we think about in this story. We think of him as the prodigal son, but that's a bit of a misunderstanding of it. Because the bottom line is that neither one of these 2 sons that's mentioned in verse 11, neither one of them loves their father for himself. They don't love God in this metaphor, in this parable. They don't love God for himself, for all that he is and all that he's done and all that he's given them. They don't love their father for those reasons. They love their father for what they can get out of him. So they love their father when things are going right. They love their father when he is doing what they want him to do. The younger son, I'm sure that he loves his father, that he loves it when the father cashes in his property and gives him his money, and doesn't throw him out when he basically tells him he wishes he was dead, which is what it means in the original context, to ask for your share of the estate. But the older son, in a way, is much the same. The older son is just as lost, and he can't celebrate when the younger brother returns, because he is far too superior in his mind. He thinks he's better than him. He's angry at his brother, and he's angry at his father, that his father is full of grace, and that his father welcomes his brother home. We are going to unpack this a little bit more on Sunday morning, actually. This is such a universal story. Captures so much of what Jesus was all about in Jesus telling this story. But the last 2 weeks in the Sermon on the Mount, we've been talking about how to be countercultural, how to be different. This week, we're going to talk about how not to be religious, how not to think you're better than everyone else just because you're a follower of Jesus, how not to be judgmental because Jesus says that our righteousness has to exceed that of the parables and the teachers of the law. So I hope you'll join us on Sunday, either in person or online. And I pray for all of you. I pray you have a blessed week and a blessed day. And we'll continue our study on the prodigal son on the 20th of January. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.